The anticipation is building, birds. As we dive into potential blockbuster trades involving the Eagles' high draft pick, we can't ignore the whispers surrounding Jalen Hurts' future. Can a superstar QB change the game for Philly? Plus, Kevin Patullo's influence in our recent success can't be overlooked. And don't forget the latest Jaguars trade rumors that could ignite a major shift. Let's break this down. Kevin Patullo's impact on the Eagles during his time in Philadelphia is hard to overlook. His tenure spanned 5 critical years, where he wore many hats, from passing game coordinator to associate head coach, and finally as offensive coordinator. Those years were significant, contributing to the Birds' success with 5 straight postseason appearances and even a Super Bowl title. Patullo's contribution shaped Nick Sirianni's offensive philosophy in ways that still resonate today. As he transitions to his new role with the Dolphins, it's clear that he deeply understands the game and the pressures of a rebuilding situation. The imprint he left isn't just a footnote, it's a major part of what made the Eagles competitive. Losing someone with his depth of knowledge is a hit that could resonate with our team performance, especially when you consider how crucial continuity is in the NFL, particularly as we head into next season. The truth is, losing depth hurts more than people think, especially in December when those playoff pushes begin. It's a big transition, and we'll be watching closely how that affects both teams moving forward. The Jacksonville Jaguars are making waves as they set their sights on building off their successful 2025-26 campaign, where they clinched an impressive 13 regular season wins and came tantalizingly close to a wild-card victory in the AFC. This kind of success puts them in a prime position, but there's chatter that they could take things to a whole new level with a blockbuster trade. An anonymous personnel source has suggested that acquiring a disgruntled star from the Philadelphia Eagles could be just what they need to reinforce their roster. Honestly, it's intriguing to think about how a major addition could reshape their trajectory. The Jaguars, already in a strong position to make a playoff run, could really benefit from someone of high caliber. It's a pivotal moment for both teams. If the Birds do decide to trade away a key player, Philly fans will certainly be holding their breath, knowing how these situations can affect performances. And we've seen it before. A blockbuster deal could change the dynamics of the draft, especially with that high pick on the table. The timing of all this is crucial, and as fans, we just have to keep our eyes peeled for any developments that could impact our Birds moving forward. It's been yet another offseason of Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts being the subject of some rather unflattering stories, especially after the offense struggled throughout the 2025 campaign. This has led to plenty of chatter about Hurts' future with the team. During a recent edition of the Get Up program, ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano weighed in, explaining why the Eagles could afford to move on from Hurts as soon as next offseason. Remember, Hurts signed a 5-year contract extension reportedly worth up to $255 million, with $179.3 million guaranteed back in 2023. Honestly, this context makes the upcoming season feel like a make-or-break situation for our QB. Graziano didn't pull any punches, suggesting that Hurts could be facing significant pressure to perform as the Eagles weigh their options for the future. The truth is, the dynamics surrounding Hurts are as fluid as they get. If the Birds don't see substantial improvements and decide to trade their high draft pick, we could easily witness a franchise-changing decision. Any move like this will have the fan base buzzing, given how closely we're all watching what happens next. But it's not just about Hurts. This also drives the question of whether the Eagles are aiming to snag a superstar QB to invigorate the offense. In a league where quarterback talent can shift the entire narrative, a proper trade could redefine our future. It's exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, knowing how critical this offseason is. We've seen how quickly fortunes can turn in the NFL, and being proactive now might just be what the Eagles need to maintain their competitive edge. With everything on the table, the Eagles must tread carefully. Kevin Byard III recently made a splash by signing with the New England Patriots, and he's got his sights set on some familiar faces. He's expressed a desire for A.J. Brown, the Eagles wide receiver who's found himself in the middle of trade rumors, to join him in New England before the 2026 season kicks off. This adds an interesting layer to the ongoing chatter around Brown's future with the Eagles. Now, let's not forget the connection here. Byard and Brown previously played under Mike Vrabel's coaching in Tennessee, and they both shared a locker room last season in Philadelphia. That history makes Byard's push for a reunion in New England all the more compelling. Birds fans know how polarizing these situations can be. The prospect of losing a talent like Brown can shake things up significantly. Let's be real, this is shaping up to be a fascinating story to follow. The timing of Bayard's request could align with the Eagles' decisions regarding their high draft pick. If a superstar trade materializes, it could alter the entire draft landscape for Philly. With potential blockbuster deals in the air, do the Eagles risk losing a player who has proven to be a vital asset on offense? Or might this be a chance to pivot in a direction that better suits their needs? The trade dynamics are electric right now, and the Eagles must navigate these waters carefully as we approach the season. The decisions they make will not only affect the draft strategy, but also the mood of a fan base that's waiting to see how the chips will fall. This offseason is shaping up to be crucial for the Birds, more than ever. The rankings are revealing just how solid the Philadelphia Eagles roster really is. It's hard to find a weakness when you look at the talent and depth across every position. This is a football team packed with stars, and what's even better, they've got the backup strength to support those starters. Honestly, this is why the Eagles are recognized as a Super Bowl contender. They boast one of the deepest rosters in the entire NFL. As we consider the implications of potential trades involving the high draft pick, it's essential to recognize how that depth could come into play. Any major roster shakeup, whether it's trading away a key player or bringing in a superstar, has the potential to impact not just the starting lineup, but also the competition within the locker room. The Eagles have worked hard to build a strong team ethos, and any changes could rattle that foundation. The Birds' front office has some tough choices to make. Will they stick with the solid roster they've built or take a gamble that might alter the course of their future? My viewpoint is straightforward. Losing depth hurts more than people think, especially in December, when teams are vying for playoff positions. With all these dynamics at play, the Eagles must weigh each option carefully to maintain their competitive edge. It's a precarious balancing act. Kevin Byard III is definitely stirring the pot with his recent comments, especially when it comes to A.J. Brown. He mentioned, "We honestly haven't talked about it directly, and I don't know what's the situation here," which makes it clear that while there's interest, nothing is set in stone just yet. The truth is, they've trained together during off-seasons, creating that bond that makes fans wonder if discussions about a trade to New England have fluttered across their conversations. This could be a slippery slope for the Eagles, as losing a talent like Brown would impact not just the roster, but also the morale in the locker room. Let's be real, trading away a player with Brown's caliber isn't just a numbers game. It's about maintaining that team chemistry, something the Birds have worked so hard to cultivate. If a trade happens, there's the potential for rifts and upheaval within the squad. The Eagles need to ensure they handle this situation delicately. Byard's push for a reunion with Brown brings more attention to the trade talk, and fans are left holding their breath, considering what's at stake. These trade rumors shift the landscape and add layers of complexity to the Eagles' planning. The front office is in a tough spot with decisions that could either bloom into success or lead to chaos. With the possibility of a blockbuster trade on the horizon, how they navigate this could define their season moving forward. If it means swapping that high draft pick for a superstar QB, they have to weigh the benefits against the risk of losing one of their key playmakers. As we approach the next stages of the offseason, every move will be scrutinized by the eagle-eyed fans. Building a team that can rise to the occasion, especially when playoff pushes begin, demands not just talent, but also harmony within the roster. The coming days are pivotal, and with emotions running high, we have to consider how the front office's decisions ripple out from the locker room to the field. We're keeping a close watch, Birds. If this was just a taste of the intrigue, the next video will take a deeper dive into the strategic moves the Eagles might need to consider to keep their championship hopes alive. Go Birds!